And we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome. My name is Crystal from Rosie's Closet. And today we are doing our weekly or our Thursdays at 9 a.m. Autism chat and support group. And I've got some cool stuff for you guys today. Do I have a weird glare on my glasses? I can't see my eyes. I can only see my screens. So I'm not sure if Jake's going to join us or not. We'll give him a few minutes and see if he pops in. But down in the description below, I put a bunch of links, websites, resources that I use, and I wanted to share some of those with you. So let me see. I'm going to pull some up on my computer here. The first one I want to share is good morning, Susan. Good morning, Beth. How are you guys doing? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming, Beth. I know you had something to do this morning, so I'm happy to see you. The first website I want to share with you guys is Backpack Health. This is a super cool website. Let me grab my phone real quick. It's behind me. I have it plugged in because I forgot to charge it. Forgot to charge it last night. Oh, look at that. And I missed like a bazillion messages and stuff this morning. Okay. So I wanted to show you Backpack Health on my phone if I can find it. Okay, so here, I don't know, maybe you won't be able to even see it. There. Okay, so you can kind of see it if I tilt it. So there's this little red backpack right here. And you can download the app for your phone, but you can also use it on the computer. However, the great thing with having it on your phone is this app or this program. You can download all of your health information into this app or into this program. And let me show you guys. Just sorry, it's up here above me. This is my son's medical file. So you can see how big it is. Okay, and this isn't even the full thing. This is just like the up-to-date, most current stuff. And so I carry this, put it back up there so it's out of the way. I carry this everywhere with me when we go to appointments. Oh, good morning, Colleen. Thank you for being here. I carry this with me when we go to appointments or we're visiting new doctors or registering for school or something like that. I have all of his medical paperwork in one binder. Well, now Marfan's, the Marfan Association, which is a related disorder to Ehlers-Danlos, which is something my son has, they sent me an email and they told me about this app, Backpack Health. Well, I was able to, and it didn't take very long, but I was able to download and put all of his medical information into this app. I'm trying to pull it up, but it's having me log in, and I don't want to do that because all of his personal information is there. But all into this app or into this computer program, and I'm able to give that information to doctors, to counselors, to whoever, by clicking on little, they call them cards, like ID cards or a doctor's card. So you can click on the card and you can either text it to the doctor, you can email it to the doctor, you can download it as a PDF and have the doctor print it. There's no need for me to carry this binder anymore because I have all of it on my phone and it's free. It's completely free to use the app. It is regulated, through HIPAA, so all of your information is protected. Let me see if I can share my screen with you and show it to you. Okay, so this is Backpack Health. And once you put in your information, set up an account, it is free, like I said, you can find your, you can find different groups like these here. So here, I pulled them all up. So this is the one, the Marfound Foundation right here. This is the one that notified me of this particular app or this particular program. But there are lots of different ones on here. So there's like the Ehlers-Danlos Society. Let's see what else. There are so many. The Zebra Network. Lots of different affiliations. And you can click on ones that you're interested in and join their groups if you want, depending on what your diagnoses are. You can join these different groups, but those aren't necessary. It's just a cool part of this Backpack Health. So definitely, if you do have a lot of medical paperwork that you're carrying around all over the place, check this out. It's an amazing, amazing program. Okay, so let me see how I can stop sharing. There we go. Hello, Vulture. How are you? Thank you for being here. So let's see what's next on my thing. Meetup.com. If you guys haven't checked this out already, let's see, I'll bring it up here. Meetup is pretty cool. Okay, let me log out of mine really quick so I can just show you the basic. Okay, so Meetup basically finds groups or support groups, events, those types of things in your specific city or in your specific area. So you can start your own group or you can find a group. So you can do this also on your phone. I do everything on my desktop, but this is really, really amazing. I think I could actually log into mine. I don't think there's really any personal information here that you can see. Okay, so yeah, you would just type in a zip code. Let's just pick, like, oh, that doesn't work. Let's see, groups. I'd have to change it right here. So right now what's coming up is all the groups within 25 miles of Las Vegas. I can click on this little thing right here and change the city if I want to. And if I click or if I type in autism, it'll bring up anything that's related to autism within 25 miles of me. So I've got all these different groups that I can join, become a part of. Some of them do charge like a monthly fee or a monthly dues. Most of them do not. Most of them are free. A lot of groups that do charge fees are because Meetup charges a fee to run the group, and I believe it's like $25 a month. So for $25 a month, they can have their group on this website, and this platform will host it for them. So sometimes a group might ask for a fee, but that's just to cover what the cost to have the group online. But most of these are free, and you can go through and you can join different groups, and they have live meetups. So it's not like an online support. It is live, face-to-face in your city. Yes, Susan, you would put in your zip code. So let's see here. I'm going to change the Las Vegas to yours, 95023. Okay, and then I'll just leave autism there. And you can see in your area, there's nothing that comes up under autism. You can start your own group if you want, or you can look for maybe a support group. And then lots of different support groups come up, and you might want to go through these and see if there's any that might relate to different disabilities and things like that. Hi, Adam. How are you? So every city is going to be different. Every city that you put in here is going to have different groups depending on what's in your area. But, you know, you can always start your own if you can't find anything, you know, that interests you. The next cool one, usually you have to go to San Jose. Oh, okay. Well, you can change this too. So instead of 25 miles, maybe do 50. And let's go back to autism. And there, you can see a bunch of other options come up. So that's a very cool website, and my son and I are a part of a bunch of different groups here in Las Vegas, not just for autism, but for other things as well. And then, let's see, and all of these links are down in the description below. So you can go down there later if you like and check out all these different websites, because I did put them down below. Let's see, another one. I guess I can just pull it up right here since I'm already sharing my screen. So let's see, Autism Support Network. AutismSupportNetwork.com. This one, again, is for resources specific to your area. So it's online resources, it's offline resources, face-to-face resources, so many different things. I can't even go through them all on here, but this is definitely a website you might want to check out. Down here, you can put in your zip code, even different countries if you need to, and it'll pull up a list of resources for you. But I'm not going to go through all of these because there's so much in this particular website. Another really great resource is Autism Parenting Magazine. It is not like a hard copy magazine. It is an online magazine. But it is amazing, and it's full of so much information. Okay. It's full of so much information. It really doesn't cost that much. I think it's a few dollars per, what is it called? Per magazine. A few bucks per magazine, but it is worth it. It has so much information in each edition. You definitely have to check it out. Even if you just try maybe like a sample, because I said it's get your free magazine, just try it and see if you like it. I guarantee you will. It's really great. Let's see. myautismteam.com. This is a really great website right here. I'm going to log in, so I'm going to show you my team. Basically what this is finding other people all over, not just in your area, but all over the internet, with your same diagnoses, people that you can relate to, that can connect with you. You can chat with them. It's kind of like a social media platform, or like a Facebook just for autism. So it's pretty cool. Let me log in really quick. And you can elect people that you talk with regularly to be part of your team. And your team is just kind of like that support group that you build, where you can chat with other, what am I trying to say? So you can build this team and just kind of go back and forth, like how was your day? What's going on? Do you have a new diagnosis? Did you get to see the doctor yet? That sort of a thing. More personal. Whereas if you just type something here, it'll go across the whole platform. Your team is just that smaller little little group that you can form. So if any of you want to join my team, you know, make an account at myautismteam.com, and you can search for me. It is Crystal, the letter N, and then Jake. So Crystal and Jake. And you can become part of my team that way. Okay, no problem, Colleen. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Thank you for being here, by the way. And I'm getting out your package today, so you should be expecting that soon. So yeah, this is really cool. And you can see, like in your profile, you can write, I don't want to click on that. I'm not sure what information is going to come up. But let's just go to my team really quick and I can show you something. So in my team, you know, for example, we have this person here. Vera was having a so-so day. And that's something that you can click on, like if you're having a good day, a bad day, somewhere in the middle type of a thing. And then she explains what's going on, and then people can comment on it. Other people just in our team can comment or give suggestions. You can like, you can send hugs, you know, emojis and things like that. So this is really cool. If you have questions, if you have, you just need that extra support, you know, check that one out. But that's all online support. Sometimes you need that face-to-face, and that's where Meetup would come in. But online support is great too, just having some sort of support. Okay, so those are most of the resources that I have. And then I wanted to talk, here, let me get off of there. Yes, information and emotional support. Yeah, it's both. Definitely both. So I want to talk about sensory-friendly events or things going on in your city and like how to find them. So let me see. Oh, actually, I still have to share my screen. Let's go share my screen one more time. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you can see my Google, and let's go ahead and type in sensory friendly. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I guess it's doing it that way. Sensory friendly Las Vegas. Now, type in sensory friendly and whatever city you live in or your zip code. And then, of course, hit enter. Do the Google search that way. And you'll be surprised at how many events and how many things come up that are sensory friendly. So, for example, the Smith Center. That is a beautiful Art Deco building here that has all kinds of performing arts, from musicals to plays, to orchestra performances and ballets, and they offer a lot of sensory-friendly performances. So I didn't know that before, and I just learned this little trick here. Just type in sensory friendly. I'm not sure what this one is, but it does mention the Blue Man Group here. So if you guys, I think I did a video, or maybe I put it on my Instagram. I think it was on my Instagram, actually. I showed you that we went to the Blue Man Group. They had a sensory performance, a sensory-friendly performance. So they kind of managed the lights a little bit better, made sure that the sounds weren't too loud. They gave the children like snacks and fidget toys and earplugs, sunglasses, different types of things like that, to make sure that they could still enjoy the show, but be comfortable. And they also have a sensory room. So kind of like a place where the kids can go in the middle of the performance if it's too much for them, where they can just kind of get away for a little bit and decompress or calm down and then come back to the event. So that's really neat. yeah, you can just go through, you know, type in sensory friendly with your city, and you can find so many events, lots of stuff. There's different movie theaters that are sensory friendly or that offer sensory friendly performances or showings because it's a movie. Also shows around town, like here we have shows at every hotel. So I don't know if maybe you have musicals or things like that available where you are, but they do offer sensory performances. Chuck E. Cheese. That is a place on Sundays, I believe it is. They have a block of a few hours where they turn the sounds off or they turn the lights down, and it is a sensory friendly Sunday at Chuck E. Cheese. So check that out in your location and see if they have that. Also, there is a new park here in Las Vegas where they put a sensory wall. So they have a bunch of things outside so the children can still go to the park and play. But it has a lot of, you know, sensory things for them to touch and feel and play with on a big wall in the park. And I didn't know any of this until I searched it all this way. I can show you this really cool video here. So T-Mobile Arena, that's here in Las Vegas and hosts a bunch of sporting activities, or not activities, what's the word I'm looking for? Sporting events and concerts and things like that. Let me stop for just a second. So Susan says, I would have loved the support when my child was school-aged. Yes. When my son was 5 and before diagnosis, went to a circus, found out quickly it wasn't a good idea. Husband stood outside with him while I watched the circus. Yeah, that can be challenging. We did take our son to the circus, but he wore his headphones, like his noise canceling phones, and he enjoyed the circus. Vulture, you have a question. Yes, how can I help you? Adam, you've driven by Chuck E. Cheese 100 times but never gone in. If you don't have kids, Adam, don't go in. Don't do it. Don't do it. The food there is not that great. It's for kids. If you don't have kids, there's no reason for you to go there. The Las Vegas Knights. Yes, go Knights. I'm a big hockey fan, so yes, the Las Vegas Knights. And they currently do play at T-Mobile, but they are building a new, it's not a stadium, but it's like a practice arena for them out in Henderson. So hopefully I'll get to go over there and maybe see them. This is really expensive to get tickets to see an actual game, but you know, I might be able to go watch them practice and stuff, which I love to do that. I used to go when I lived in California to watch the Kings practice up in Blue Jay or like Lake Arrowhead. So yeah, I would definitely go watch them practice. It's just as fun as watching a game. Yeah, Vulture, just type your question in the chat and you know, I'll be happy to answer if I have the answer. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I can just answer from my own experience. Yeah, so T-Mobile becomes sensory friendly. This is a big deal, a really big deal. Now this happened like the beginning of the year. And the reason I say that it's a big deal is because I'm hoping that other places here in Las Vegas as well as across the nation take note of this and really understand the disabilities and how people all over still want to be able to attend these events, but they just need a little bit of support. So I'm going to play this video. I'm not sure how it's going to come across. So let me know if you guys can hear it, see it, all that good stuff. But it's only like less than a minute, I think. And of course, there's an ad.
T-Mobile Arena is going sensory friendly. The goal is to make sure everyone with sensory needs can have a good time at the arena. Each kit contains noise-canceling headphones, some fidget spinners. We have a lanyard that says you're a VIP. That's not all. The kit includes sunglasses for light sensitivity and a feeling thermometer for those who are nonverbal to let anyone know if they need assistance.
So how cool is that? So if you let them know when you get there that your child or adult is sensory friendly or autistic, they get kind of like a little, I don't want to say goodie bag, but a support bag, I guess, or a therapy bag. And it's got headphones, it's got sunglasses, it's got blah, blah, blah. My words just don't come out. Headphones, sunglasses, fidget toys, and a card that allows them to show you if they need help, which I think is amazing because so many of our kids are verbal, but when they get in that situation that becomes very overwhelming, it's hard for them to communicate with you and let you know what's going on. So a card like that where they just have to point and say, I'm in trouble, you know, that can notify you without them having to actually say it. Hi, Diva Chic. I haven't seen you. My sister, how are you? I'm happy that you're here. She's not my real sister, but she is my sister from another mister. Let me go back up real quick and check the chat here. So, is it a symptom of autism for an autistic child not to show emotion much of the time or recognize others' emotions? Yes, it is. It's actually very characteristic, like Susan says. Some, and you know, it's different for some kids. Here, let me stop sharing my screen really quick. It's different. There are some kids that just don't understand emotion, so it's something that they have to be taught. It's something that we worked with my son for quite a long time, actually, like how to tell if a person's happy, how to tell if a person is sad or annoyed, or you know, different things. They don't recognize when a person is giving you that social cue of how they're feeling. And a lot of times the kids won't show you how they're feeling either because they don't understand it. So being able to give them like a card to show this is how I'm feeling, or you know, my face feels like this right now, and it might be like the happy one because they feel like they're smiling, then that lets you know that they're happy without them being able to say I'm happy because they don't understand what happy actually means. They have the Flyers facility in South Jersey. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Susan says, Chuck E. Cheese, it's not a place an ordinary person would enjoy unless you've been forced to go. I totally agree. I totally agree. The kids love it. My son used to love it. He's kind of outgrown it now because it's more for the younger kids. But yeah, if you don't have kids or you're not forced to go, there's no reason for you to. The sound is fine. Okay, so cool. You guys were able to see the video. I wasn't sure because, you know, I'm still kind of new to this StreamYard. I missed you too. I did. I haven't seen you for a long time, and we used to chat a lot. Many professionals wanted to label my child depressed because he didn't show emotion. He indeed has a great sense of humor and is content, not depressed. Yes, I think depression does come with a lot of disabilities. However, not all kids who don't show their emotions are depressed. So you as a parent know your child better than any doctor, any specialist that you take them to. And this is the biggest thing that I have learned, being my son's mom, is that doctors are not always right, and that you are their advocate. And regardless of what a doctor or psychologist or whoever tells you, if you feel that they are wrong, fight for a different answer. Find another doctor, get a second opinion, whatever it is that you have to do. If you feel in your gut that it is not the right answer, keep searching, because in most cases you will be correct. I've been told to take her to a psychologist, so I understand. If you go to a psychologist or a neuropsychologist might actually be a better option, because they would be able to diagnose if she has autism or not. So they will test her, give her different activities to do, and then be able to tell if it is depression, or if it is autism, or if it is something else, some other type of neurological disorder. Your nephew is high functioning autistic, very hard because he looks and acts like other kids most of the time. Then he throws a fit and people don't understand. Yeah, that's definitely hard. And it's not that he's throwing a fit, it's that he's in sensory overload. So I think in those instances, you just have to pull them away from the group, help them to be able to decompress, calm down, everything's going to be okay. You know, take them out of the environment that has made them throw a fit, and then you can slowly bring them back, maybe with headphones or sunglasses, whatever they need. But yeah, I totally understand. My son is high functioning as well. Many hours at school with support on social and emotional, one-on-one working on the things Crystal just said was helpful. Yeah, definitely. If you're having issues at school, make sure you have an IEP or a 504. Those things will outline exactly what a child needs in a classroom. And legally, your school and the teachers have to follow them. And, you know, it'll help your student out so much. And it could just be a simple thing as to taking a break in between long assignments. But it could be something that's written into their IEP. Excuse me. It could be something like, instead of a chair, he's allowed to sit on a bouncing ball. I have a friend who has a child with ADHD, and he can't sit still for a minute. We went out to dinner, and he was just bouncing all over the booth. He was upside down. He was under the table. He was jumping around. He was going in and out. And it's just because he can't sit still. His brain is functioning so fast that in his IEP, his mom was able to write in there that instead of sitting in a chair, he could sit on a bouncing ball in class. And that has helped him tremendously, because now he's able to kind of control his movement. So he's able to move, but just in a controlled area where he's bouncing, but it allows him to focus on his schoolwork and not be all over the classroom. You moved. I remember you said that you were going to do that. So I'm excited for you that you moved to the beach. Vulture says, how do you handle a young teen who doesn't want to admit they need help with autism? Oh, I don't really know how to answer that question. She's been diagnosed. Okay. Maybe that's hard, because my son has always been very open about his diagnosis, and he's always, but I think it's because, you know, we diagnosed him really, really little. And he's just kind of been brought up that way. So that's kind of a difficult question for me. I'm not sure how to answer that appropriately. I would say maybe find other teenagers, maybe through Meetup, that are like her. So try to see if you can find maybe just a group of teens that hang out in your area that are autistic or with other neurological disorders. And then she might be able to recognize more of what's going on with herself if she sees that in other kids that are like her. But I'm not really sure how to answer that, Vulture. If anybody has any suggestions for Vulture, please put them in the comments because I'm not sure. You went to a play psychologist. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's someone that does psychology through play, but I don't know. Adam says, I feel a lot of times doctors just spitball ideas and treatments. Plus, they love throwing all kinds of drugs at you. Often the cure is worse than the disease or symptoms. I agree. Yes and no. That is why we call it practicing medicine. You know, a doctor that went to school and got all C's or D's or whatever in school is also the same as a doctor that got all A's. So, like I said, when you don't agree with your treatment or you don't agree with your diagnosis, find another doctor. It is practicing medicine. Not all doctors know the same information. Maybe even a doctor went to school in another country and their medicine is different than it is here in the United States. So that's it's always tricky finding doctors. And then often the cure is worse than the disease. I agree to some extent. Medicine is necessary in certain situations. However, a lot of times it can be treated otherwise. Maybe by just changing your diet. Maybe searching for herbal remedies or my son doesn't take any medications at all, zero. We've always looked for alternative medicine for him in that case. Susan says, that must be hard, Vulture. My son was not diagnosed until 11. He didn't have a choice. As a parent, I had to insist that he go to his appointments, doctors. A teen can be harder. Yes, that's so true. My son didn't have a choice up until recently. And I gave him that choice. I just let him know, like, hey, how are you feeling? Do you still feel like you need to see a counselor every week? Or should we go once a month? Or should we only go when it's absolutely necessary? How are you feeling? And I can talk with him like that, but I think he's very high functioning and he's very intelligent. So I do talk with him like an adult. But you know your child, so you have to figure out what works best for them. He was okay and just went along, but other kids with like issues would go to events to include them. She has a hard time getting to know new people. Yes, most kids with autism do. And sometimes you have to force them into those social situations. If I gave my son the option all the time to go or not to go, he would stay home and sit in his bedroom and play on his computer. So a lot of times I have to force him, like, hey, we're going to your friend's house today. You know, bring something that you would like to do with your friend. And I don't give them the option. I just let them know what we're doing for the day. And that's it. And he's 12. So we're getting into that teenager stage where he could say yes or no. But I don't give him the option. I tell him what we're doing. And I just force him. And sometimes we go to his friend's house and he doesn't play with his friend at all. And that's okay. That's okay. But he's there, and you can force them into that situation. However, there's only so much you can force them to do, and then they have to do the rest of it on their own. Sometimes I push them a little bit, and I'll be like, hey, can you go ask him if he wants to play a game, or ask him if you can play with his dog, or something. Like, I'll kind of push him a little bit, kind of help him a little bit with the awkwardness. Because my son, he'll tell me sometimes, like, I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to start the conversation. And my son has gotten a lot better with expressing to me how he's feeling or what the problem is, letting me know, like, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Whereas before, when we first kind of were starting down this journey, he couldn't tell me anything. He just knew that I can't do that, and he didn't know why. And now he's getting a little bit better with it. We had a short time where he had extreme anxiety and used low dose of meds, but I didn't like him to have to do that. I always advocated for him to be off the meds, and has not had them for years. Yeah, medication's tricky. I always try to find an alternative before giving up medication. And my son has extreme anxiety, and I just try to not put him in the situations that I know will heighten his anxiety, or I'll push him to the point of where I can see that he's getting too frustrated, just because I intentionally want to keep progressing with him, but I don't overdo it. And again, I don't want him to be on any type of medication, so I just keep trying to push him a little bit more and more and more. She's never been one to play. My son either, unless it's video games or Pokemon or something like that. But he doesn't really like to play. We could go to the park and he'll just sit on the bench and watch the other kids play, and he's content doing that. And that's okay. So, but you have to put them into that social situation. Whether or not they participate, it doesn't matter as long as they're there. We had my kids in 4-H. We started by raising rabbits and other large animals. They also have so many hundreds of areas of interest to study. They met kids and made friends. Yes, any type of social situation you can get them into is important. So my son was in martial arts for quite a long time. There's a big hair tickling me here. He was in martial arts for quite a long time, and so he had made friends that way, because he got to see the same kids on a regular basis, 2-3 times out of the week, and then he was able to make friends that way. We are going to do 4-H next year. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Started 4-H at 5 years old. Also, caring for animals teaches empathy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So there is a horse ranch that's out here in Las Vegas. It's really far from us, and I wish we could go more, but it is a trek. But they offer kids with all kinds of disabilities to come and care for the horses. And it's really amazing what happens when you allow a child to care for an animal, cat, dog, horse, whatever. I think with my son, we started with a dog. He started with our dog Winston, and then we got him some fish, and he loved taking care of his fish. And then he had turtles. He had 2 turtles, and he really enjoyed caring for his turtles. And now he has his own dog, and he loves his dog so much. She would play board games and card games. Yeah, that's my son's favorite thing too, is board games and card games. He loves Monopoly, and he loves Pokemon. So maybe find in your local area, like through Meetup, because that'll be that face-to-face interaction. Find like a board game group or a group that plays whatever card game she's into, whether it is Pokemon or I don't know what all the card games are, Dungeons and Dragons. No, that's not a card game. That's a board game. I should know this. This is like from my era. I don't know. But find what she's find what she's into and find a group for her. Whether they are autistic or not would be good for her either way. He also never really played. We had toys never used. He would just line them up and look at them. Yes. And that's just their way of play. You know, my son would do the same thing. He would line them up. He would categorize them. He'd put them by color. He'd put all the fire trucks over here and all the police cars over here. And that was just their way of playing with their toys. So they played with their toys, but just in a different way. He actually asked me why his younger sister played with her dolls, confused almost why someone would do that. That's interesting. Yeah, my son really hasn't been around too many younger kids, I guess, in that way, where they were playing with their toys and he questioned it. But I have seen him where he'll sit with the younger kids and he doesn't know what to do with the toy. Like he'll just hold it. Like he doesn't know. It's almost like you don't have that imagination of how to do the pretend play. I'm not sure. But yes, confused. I could see why they would be confused. 4-H is very inclusive. You can join anytime. Doesn't have to be at the start of the year. It's the best thing I could think of for our kids. And it really depends on the area that you live in, what's available, what you have out there. I guess you've taken your son to the Mandalay Bay Shark Reef. Do they offer discounts for locals? Yes, we have gone to the Shark Reef. We've gone actually several times. Discounts for locals are just about anywhere and everywhere you go in Las Vegas. You can always get a discount for a local, and my son's a veteran. Not my son. My husband is a veteran, so we also get discounts for that as well. But yeah, the Shark Reef is fun. He would prefer, though, to go to, what is the name of that hotel? The one that is with Bass Pro Shop. Silverton. The Silverton Hotel has the Bass Pro Shop attached to it. And it is, they have a giant aquarium there. And we used to go there and he could sit there for hours just staring at the aquarium. I think it's just calming. It's really calming. Yeah, she would ask for toys, but never do anything with them. And I think that's just their way of wanting something, but not really sure what to do with it. Or they just think differently than we do. So they see the toy and they don't think like, oh, I'm going to pretend that my doll is my baby. Instead, they just want that doll because they think it's beautiful and they want to look at it. So they just have a different way to play. Your nephew would line up the cat food and get upset when the cats would eat the line. That's so funny. That is hilarious because my son, he would line up the cars and then like, you know, my husband would come in and like want to play with him and he would take a car out of the line and Jacob would like, ah! You know, flip out and get so upset. Susan says, good description, lack of imagination. And I don't know if it's really lack of imagination. It's more of like, I know I said that, but I don't know if that's actually what it is because kids with autism are very imaginative. I think it's more of that pretend play is that they don't connect. Hi, you want to join us?
Yeah, I was actually what you guys are talking about.
Yeah?
And I feel like the main reason for it
is it's not really a lack of imagination. It's more of just we have a different way of thinking about things. So our first instinct isn't to, oh, imagine something. We're like, um, I, what? Wait, what? I don't see any, like, is there like a place I'm supposed to put this? And is there like a shelf that I'm supposed to put this on? Like, I'm confused here.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was.
We don't think to just play. We mostly, or at least for me personally, I've always been like always thinking about like the real world and all that kind of stuff. I never really thought about the whole imagination thing.
Exactly. That's why I was kind of changing the way that I had said it. Like, I know it's not lack of imagination, because you can be very imaginative when it comes to like designing video games and coming up with these different things. But I think that the way you describe it, by saying you think more of the real world than of the pretend play world.
Mm-hmm.
So like a doll can't really be your pretend baby because it's a doll. So you don't play with it like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's a doll. So yeah, that's interesting. Adam says, I've never been to the Silverton. I heard about that. The Silverton is a beautiful hotel. You know, the aquarium is really big and it's really pretty, and they have mermaids there that swim around in the aquarium and feed the fish. And Bass Pro Shop is pretty awesome. They got so much to do there at that store. It's gigantic. Your guy have been so reassuring. Well, they like it when you're here, just so you know. I know you were kind of sleeping in today, so I didn't want to bother you too much. Just a description, don't know how to pretend so much. Yeah, and I think that's what it really is that they don't really know how to pretend. And like Jacob says, they think more of the real world and not what's pretend.
Mm-hmm.
And Joyce, I think you've just joined us. Thank you for being here. Tunnel imagination. That's kind of a good description of it, I suppose. What do you think? Tunnel imagination?
I mean, I guess kinda. Really depends on how you like form fit the words together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's almost 10 o'clock. We're coming up on our 1 hour, and I wanted to share one more thing with you guys before we left. Is there anything you want to say? I know you just popped in, but
I mean, I've been hearing the conversation. But,
yeah, well, I mean, anything else about maybe whatever we've touched on before?
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing at all. Okay, maybe you'll have something to say about this. So let me share my screen really quick, because I want to share with you. Let's go back here. And we just did that video. So I'm going to share this with you. Autismspeaks.org. You can pull up this sensory-friendly Santa. And then if you scroll down, you can click to find a location near you. So let's see if I can do that. Yes, Las Vegas. And if you're interested in finding a Santa who offers sensory-friendly pictures or time with your child, this will pull up different areas of where you can find a Santa event that is sensory-friendly. So this is super cool, because I will share a short story with you, hopefully not to embarrass you or anything, but just so you guys can understand why this might be important. So every single year, we have always gone to, let me stop sharing really quick. We've always gone to the Bass Pro Shops to see Santa. And of course, this was when Jacob was younger, but we always had gone to see Santa. And I was always kind of the person who the very first day that Santa was there, I wanted to be there as soon as they opened, and just that I didn't like the lines and the wait and all that. So I just wanted to be like the first ones that got in to see Santa. And it was never an issue. Jacob would always sit with Santa. Sometimes he would say what he wanted for Christmas. Other times he would say nothing. We'd just take pictures and he was fine. One particular time, I dropped the ball. I was really late on getting to see Santa, and Jacob desperately wanted to see Santa. He said, I have to. I need to tell him what I want for Christmas. So we ended up going, you know, kind of really late. And there was like a 2-hour wait to see Santa there. And so many kids, so much noise. The anxiety and the anticipation and everything, I think, just really was too much for Jacob. We were able to wait in line all the way up until it was his turn to see Santa, and then it was just complete meltdown. So they're like, okay, you're next. And I'm kind of ushering him, and everything's moving really quickly, you know, so I'm kind of ushering him up to see Santa. And then it was just like screaming and kicking and biting and punching. And he was like, no, I don't want to see Santa. And I think he just wasn't, it was just too much. So I'm like, okay, let's go then. If you don't want to see Santa, let's go. And he's like, no, I can't go. I have to tell Santa what I want. And it was just like this thing in between where he was like, no, I can't go, but I don't want to see Santa. And I'm like, I don't know what you need. I don't know what you want. And that was at the point where someone from the store came over and was like, do you need help? And I'm just like, I'm crying. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And my son is freaking out. He's panicking. And of course, this was still like very early in our autism journey. And I didn't know what to do at that point. So if your child has any of these type of anxieties or, you know, sensory issues with noise and lights and anxiety and stress, look for one of these sensory friendly events, or try to go, even call the store ahead of time and be like, hey, this is my situation. Is there a time maybe when Santa's free that we can come, when there's not a huge line or something? And they're very accommodating. I've never had an issue with being able to come at a different time, or just to have that little private time with Santa. It's only a few minutes, you know, so they're usually very accommodating for you. Do you remember that?
Kind of.
Kind of? Okay.
It sounds familiar, but I can't envision it.
Okay. That was a difficult day. That was a difficult day. I remember calling your dad and just be like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I was just crying. I was so upset. But we learned from it. I learned from it. Let's see. Vulture says, thank you all so much. Yes, and thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it, because not only am I trying to help everyone else, but your comments and your support also help us. So, you know, I think it's great for us to be able to help each other. The neighbor boy would play to almost destruction of his toys, and my son would not want to play with his things. He liked his things in pristine condition, and that wasn't fun for him. Yeah, I get that. And I see sometimes my son is the same way. Like if I pick up a toy, like on one of his, what's the word I'm looking for? Like where he has them all organized, he'll kind of look at me sometimes like, why are you touching my stuff? Or why are you moving that? Joy says, yes, thanks for being here. Like you need a specific genre to start off. I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm sorry, it's probably referring to something above. If you don't know what a chat message means, it's probably referring to something above.
Okay, maybe. Susan says, Jacob, you are so handsome and articulate. Thanks for stopping in. Yes, I always appreciate it when he's here with us, because he has a different view on things. And I'm just looking from a parent's perspective or mother's perspective, and you know, it's coming from him directly, which is invaluable, really. Joyce says a peak of interest or something you have enjoyed that sort of set the stage for furthering the story. I feel like I'm missing something with what Joyce is saying.
Probably.
Susan says, "Aw, such a familiar story." Yes, I'm sure we've all felt that way at some point. And Adam says, "Thanks, Crystal and Jacob." Thank you, Adam, for being here. I appreciate it. And Adam, just to let you know, Kimmy has been texting me this morning, so I finally found out that she's okay. Thank you for letting us know that in your show yesterday. So yeah, keep her in our thoughts and prayers. But she's doing okay. And Joy says, "Yes, thanks so much for sharing with us." And Susan says, "Thank you, Crystal, for your time." I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Next Thursday, I know, is Thanksgiving. So I'm thinking of maybe changing, because I'd still like to do this next week, especially since we don't really have school or anything like that. So I think we could either do it Tuesday or Wednesday. But just, you know, keep an eye out on my channel, and I will put a reminder of either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not positive yet, but we'll still do our support group either Tuesday or Wednesday at the same time, 9 o'clock. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Oh, we have one more. Let's see. Diva says, "As with anything we're going through in life, it helps to have people to talk with, especially people who have already been through the same things. Silence keeps us alone, keeps us in a lone cage." Yes, that is so true. And that's with anything. It's not just with autism. That could be with anything. It's definitely definitely good to talk about it, laugh, cry, whatever you need to do. Talking about it is therapeutic. So I'm glad that we could be here to help you guys, and you guys help us as well. So that's awesome. That's what we're here for. I'll look for it. Will be a busy week. Yes, it's a busy week for us too, but I still want to get it in just because, like I said, this helps us out tremendously both ways. So I do look forward to it every week. So I will see you guys either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll post it on my channel. Tuesday or Wednesday, same time, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And please hit the thumbs up on your way out. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great week, the rest of the week, and we will see you next week. Okay, bye.